Welcome to Horrify.world's Madness Marathon. To celebrate Halloween, the Horrify.world crew has made the Madness Marathon Halloween calendar. Every day we open a door, and behind every door is a recommendation for a free horror game that you should play. 31 days, 31 recommendations, hours of fun. And on the 31st, we have a special surprise for you. But enough talk, let's see what hides behind today's door.
2002's Resident Evil Gaiden was a late-in-life Game Boy Color game and one of the very few survival horror games on the platform. It was made by the now defunct British developer M4 Limited, who had an esteemed background in making mostly licensed shovelware, and also at one point they were making a Dino Crisis game for the Game Boy Color, which was cancelled in favor of making Resident Evil Gaiden. By the way, there's an insane documentary about this canceled Dino Crisis port by a madman named Sunderland Spook. Go watch it if you're interested. Resident Evil Gaiden occupies this weird space in Game Boy Color history where big developers were taking their AAA franchises and then stripping them down to their most basic elements and putting them on the Game Boy Color for some reason. Both Metal Gear and the impressive Alone in the Dark port come to mind, and there also exists an unfinished port of the original Resident Evil that had 3D models and fixed camera angles that unfortunately never came out. Resident Evil Gaiden may not have been the game we wanted, but it was the game we got, so let's take a look. You play as Barry Burton from the original Resident Evil, who works for some sort of bioweapon disposal agency that was formed after the events of the original Resident Evil trilogy and right before Resident Evil 4. Now, this is a Gaiden, meaning side story, so don't come in expecting any of this shit to matter. Barry is dropped aboard the luxury cruiser, the Starlight, where he's been informed that a bioweapon is loose on the ship, which caused another zombie outbreak, so he has to rendezvous with Agent Leon S. Kennedy to get to the bottom of this mystery. As Barry, you have to roam around this vacant ship with this creepy arpeggio playing in the background. It's kind of haunting in its own cute Game Boy Color way. Now, many people have compared this to a game of golf, because as the player, you will stand in a fixed position to aim your gun, and you kind of have to angle it towards the zombie, and the zombie gets in your crosshairs, and boom, now you're in battle mode. The battles in this game are far different from anything you've experienced in Resident Evil. There's a cursor that flies rapidly in a horizontal fashion across the bottom of the screen, and you've got to stop it on the white or blue line. That indicates the zombie's position. Now, the zombies exist in a few different layers. Usually they'll start off far in the back and gradually make their way towards the player. The further back they are, the harder it is to hit them. So you either want to wait the zombies out until they get a little bit closer and then fire, or try your luck and see if you can hit them from afar. This is not very scary for a survival horror kind of experience, but it's still kind of enjoyable for what it is. By the way, you're not entirely stranded if you run out of ammo, because there is a combat knife, but you have to wait until the zombie approaches you in the most foreground layer. Some of the zombies have special attributes, like there will be poison zombies, which will imbue effects upon the player, and some of the zombies will carry pipes, which can hit you from afar. There still exists a degree of survival strategy in the game. Ammo drops aren't that frequent, and you'll have to be searching the map for little exclamation points so you can pick up more ammo and health items. One thing I wish I would have known going in is that some enemies carry critical key items, and they're also indicated by an exclamation point if an enemy is carrying an item on the field. The game can be rather cryptic at times, but you do carry around a PDA, so if you're ever lost on what to do or it's been a while since you last played it, you can just click on it and it'll tell you what your next objective is. About a quarter of the way through, you start recruiting other party members like Leon, and the game just shifts into this action RPG where you can switch between multiple characters and weapons, and they have their own body armor, and you start fighting behemoth bioweapons with high-powered artillery. Resident Evil Gaiden certainly isn't the best game in the series, but I would rank it up there as one of the best horror games on the Game Boy Color, so that's gotta stand for something.
I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've enjoyed the game in the video. Remember to go visit Horrify.world tomorrow and every day after for the remainder of October. You know, to see what other great free games are out there. From all of us here at Horrify.world, stay extra spooky during this month and take care.